Hello, welcome back to a new cutting video. This is part 2 of cutting our Agate Creek agates. Today, sadly, I will only be doing reveals of what I cut, as when I was cutting these, the Lapidary Club was very busy, so I didn't really want to disturb anyone videoing. So yeah, we'll just be doing reveals today, and we'll see what's inside of these amazing Aussie Agate Creek agates from far north Queensland. So let's go take a look. Okay, so this was our first cut. Let's take a look inside of it. Oh wow, that is very pretty. It's got some interesting stuff going on down there with some different coloured bands. It is so hot that the water on the stone is drying out very quickly, but look at that. Beautiful colours, beautiful bands, stunning pair right there. That is amazing. Wow, I love that one. Okay, so our next pair was this one, with this window right here, nice pinks and reds. Let's take a look. Oh, interesting. It's very fractured up, sadly, but it's got some red bands in there. Nice pinky white colours. That's very pretty. I still like that one. Cool. Okay, so this was our third cut. I'm hoping for this to continue inside. And indeed it does. Wow. That is stunning. That is an absolutely beautiful Agate Creek agate. Look how intricate those bands are in there. The water lines, the different colours, the red down the bottom. Beautiful like wavy bands down there, the little tubes up in here. Water lines. That is an absolutely stunning Agate Creek agate. Wow, that is breathtaking. Amazing. Okay, here's our next with the big beautiful window. Oh yes, that is stunning as well. It's very surface fractured up, sorry. But I would definitely have to polish that and that will look a lot better. That is still an absolutely amazing pair. Damn, it is so hot out here. Jeez, that is just stunning. Take a look at that. Wow. Okay, here's our next cut. It's got a very interesting husk for an Agate Creek agate. And oh, that is pretty. Interesting colours. You don't see that kind of colours in Agate Creek agates very much. And it's got a geode pocket. That is awesome. Look at the bands. Amazing. I love that pair. That is awesome. There you go. Okay, here's our next pair. Sadly, this one fractured up a little. Oh, wow. Super stunning. That is amazing. I would definitely be polishing this one up for sure. Beautiful quartz pocket and beautiful, beautiful pink, purple and red bands. That is amazing. Okay, next we have this funky one. Let's take a look. Oh, wow, I was not expecting that. I thought that was going to be all quartz. Wow, look at that weird funky red line of agate going through the crystal pocket. And then you got the bands up the top. Wow. That is so cool. What an interesting piece. Awesome. Then we had this one. Sadly, this one really fractured up on us, and it was kind of a dud anyway. But still cool. It had that nice banded window outside, but yeah, bit of a dud that one is, sadly. Okay, we have this one next, and oh, that is interesting. I've never really seen anything like that from Agate Creek. Bands around the outside, and then the interesting stuff going on in the middle. It's kind of like waterline bands, but it isn't. That is really cool and really interesting too. I love that pair. I'll have to polish that one up too when I can find the time. Awesome. Then we have this pair right here, and oh, that is awesome. Look at those bright orange and red bands. Oh, that is an amazing pair right there. And the crystal pocket in the middle. Oh, wow, that is just awesome. What an amazing pair. I'll have to polish that one up too. Okay, next we had this one. This one fractured up a little too. Oh, it's a very orange one. Not really much bands in that. But that's still pretty cool. There you go. And then we had this one. Oh, that one does have bands and a crystal pocket. Look at that, nice bands in there. That is a nice little pair. I have to polish him up too when I get to the lapidary club. Nice. And then we had this one. Oh, that is beautiful as well. Nice crystal pocket in the middle. Waterline bands down the bottom and then bands around the outside. So beautiful. Wow, that is very nice. Then we had this pair. This one fractured up a little bit, but oh, that is still very nice. Beautiful bands in that. I'll have to polish it up, make it look nicer. Look at those bands in there. There's some waterline bands as well. Beautiful colors. Very nice. And then we had this one, and oh, that is definitely what I call an Agate Creek agate. Wow, sadly it's quite fractured up, but I can still polish that. That is amazing. Beautiful pinks and reds and blues in that. Waterline bands in the crystal pocket. Oh, that might be my favorite one. I just wish it wasn't so fractured. But that is still just stunning. Wow. Then we had this pair. Oh, that is very interesting. That reminds me of like a Turkish agate. Wow. That is so cool. I've never seen anything like that from Agate Creek. That is just awesome. I love that pair. It's got an interesting husk too. There you go. Next we had this one. Let's take a look. Oh, that is stunning. Beautiful crystal pocket and waterline bands in that. That is an amazing pair. I love that pair a lot. I'll have to see if I can polish that one too. Very nice. Then we had this nodule. Oh, that's still very nice. Very crystal filled, but that's still nice. It's still got the beautiful yellow bands around the outside. That is nice indeed. Still like that. Then we had this pair. Let's take a look. Oh, that is so beautiful. Look at the amazing bands in that. Sadly, that one's fractured too, but I still should be able to polish that. Oh yes, that is very nice indeed as well. Super cool. Then we had this pair. Let's take a look. Oh yes, that is stunning as well. Look at the colors in that. Amazing, and the beautiful bands, the crystal pocket. They just all go so well together. Oh, I absolutely love that pair. So amazing. Then we had this pair. Let's take a look inside that one. Oh, pink bands around the outside and what looks to be like calcite in the middle of the crystals. Very interesting. That is pretty cool. Next was this funky shaped one, and the bands do indeed continue inside. It's quite fractured up, but it is still very beautiful. Still like that one. Might try and polish that one. We'll see. Then we had this one. Let's take a look. Oh, sadly that's very fractured up, but it's still got nice colors in there. Still got some bands down in there, but yeah, I don't think I'll be polishing that one. Still pretty cool. Then we had this nodule, which also sadly fractured on one side, but oh, that is still very pretty. It's got some light bands in there. Look up in there. I'll have to polish that one too. I like it enough to polish, and hopefully those bands will come out even more. Nice. Then we had this peeler porcelain agate. Oh, that might be my favorite one. Look at the purples and pinks and creams and the crystal pocket. They all go so well together. Oh, that is such an amazing pair. How beautiful. Then we have this little nodule pair, which also sadly fractured up, but oh, still very nice bands. I can still work with that, I can still polish that. But oh yeah, there's some nice bands in that. I'll have to try and polish that pair. Cool. Then we had this tiny little porcelain agate pair which fractured up. Oh yeah, that's still pretty. Nice pinks and whites. Nice. And next up we had this one. Oh, that's pretty. Very light bands in there, but that is still cool. Nice pinks and like bluish kind of colors and reds. That's still pretty cool. Then we also had this one which fractured up on one side, but oh, that is very nice. That'll be getting polish. Look at the whites and pinky red colors in that. Oh wow. So beautiful. That'll be getting a polish. Here's this bit next. Sadly, this one fractured down the middle, but look at those tubes up in there and the waterline bands with the crystals. That's still very cool, but yeah, as you can see, that half broke apart. But that is still a very cool pair. Then we had this bluish colored one. Oh, that is interesting. It does have bands in there. I might try and polish that one up. That is interesting. It definitely has bands in there. So cool. Then we had this one which also fractured up. Oh! That is stunning. Look at the bands and colors in that. Very, very interesting colors in that. That is insane. Wow. That is an amazing pair. That'll definitely be getting a polish. Amazing. Then we had this one which also sadly fractured up, but oh, that is still very nice. Look at the bands in there. Definitely like that one. Don't know what I'm going to do with that half, but this half will be getting a polish right here. Look at that. Amazing. Sorry for the background noise, guys. Then we had this nodule with a nice window, which also sadly fractured up a little bit. But oh yes, that is definitely nice. That'll be getting a polish as well. This one I might chuck in the tumbler. But yes, very beautiful indeed. And then we had this pair which also sadly fractured, but oh, that is stunning. Look at that, it's kind of got like a scene in it. That one, yeah, I'll try and polish this. Other half I'll definitely polish right here. But oh, that is amazing. What a beautiful agate. So awesome. Then we had this nodule. Oh, it's a geode agate. Look at that. And then the beautiful colored bands around the outside. Oh wow, that is stunning. I love that little pair right there. Awesome geode agate. Amazing. Then we had this one. Oh yes, that's nice. Crystals, waterline bands, and then bands around the outside. That is definitely nice indeed. I'll have to try and polish him too. Awesome. Then we had this unique one which also sadly fractured on us. Oh, that is very unique. Look at that. I've never seen anything like that before. That is awesome. That'll have to get a polish as well. Super, super, super cool. Look at that. That is amazing. So cool. Then we had this little nodule pair. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Pinky red bands in there with the little crystal pocket. That's a nice little pair. I like that. Then we had this one which sadly fractured, and oh, that is stunning. This bit I might have to chuck in the tumbler, but the other half will definitely be getting polished. Look at that. That is stunning. What an amazing Agate Creek agate. So cool. And then we had this one which also fractured on us. Oh, that is stunning. This half right here will definitely be getting polished. The other one I might chuck in the tumbler at the Lapidary Club. But oh, look at the colors in that and the bands. Just so beautiful. That is amazing. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Now we're getting down to the pairs that the other half completely fractured up on us. Look at that. That is stunning. Wow, look at the bands in that, and then the little crystal pocket down there. Amazing. Let me give that another dip. There you go. Look at that. So beautiful. That is stunning. That'll be getting a polish. Very nice. Then we had this porcelain agate. Oh, wow. That is very light in color. Still very nice light pinks in there. Cool colors. That's definitely a nice pair. That's cool. And next up we had this one. Oh my! That is absolutely stunning. Look at the colors in that. Insane, beautiful bands. Red, purples, and dark purples. That is amazing. Look at that. So stunning. I love that pair. Very nice. Getting down to our final three. Oh, interesting. It looks to mainly be chalcedony. There might be some bands in there, red and purple chalcedony. But yeah, that's a big one, and that's still pretty cool. Still don't mind that one. Nice. Then we had this one. Oh yeah, that is nice. It does have some bands in there. I'll have to polish that one around the corner. Give it like a curved polish. Yeah, it definitely has bands in there. That's still pretty nice. Got some crystals down in there. Cool. And the final one we cut is this one. Oh yeah. Look at those bands in there. Nice pinky cream colors. And then the pink in the middle. Very beautiful indeed. Yes, that is nice. That's our last cut. Okay, so that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed. Those were all our Agate Creek agates that I recently cut, so part 2 revealed. So there was definitely some amazing ones in there, and I hope you really enjoyed. If you do happen to enjoy, make sure to like this, and if you aren't already, make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye!